Hey there, this is Darren. Day 30. I can't believe it's going this quickly, 1/3 of the way there, but this isn't about me, this is about you. And so sometimes we get ahas in our life from the strangest, weirdest places. So I was speaking in Sydney, Australia, and my friend Jennifer, one of my coaches in Stage Time University, she lives there, and her and her family were taking me around, and we were going through this beautiful park. And there's a man in the middle of the park by the sidewalk, and he's standing on a soapbox. And he's just standing there, and he's got a sign in front of the soapbox that says, "Ask me anything." And slowly a few people gathered, and I was curious. And so I'm standing there, and I'm like, this is fascinating just in and of itself. But what could I ask him? So part of my little quirkiness was like, all right, I want to stump this guy, but let's see what he has to say. And so the question I asked him was, so what's the meaning of life? And his response fascinated me. He said, there is no meaning except what we give to it. So when something happens to you, or when you interpret something, you, the interpreter, is the one who gives that meaning. Just like in an accident, or everyone has their own opinion and their own perspective. So we give things meaning. Okay, that's interesting, Darren, but the more I started thinking about it, the more it made sense, and it was a huge aha for me. So how does that apply to everyday life? So, when I started running again a few weeks ago, I was listening to this song, and it was on my playlist, and I'm a huge Van Halen fan. And one of the songs was "Finish What You Started." And from my past life, the way I used to be, and as a college kid and a high school kid, "Finish What You Started" is a very sexual, has a very sexual connotation to it. However, when I was running and I heard that song came on, to me, I put a very different meaning on it, like it was speaking to me. Even though the song is meant to be like sexual, to me, it was like, dude, finish what you started. So I have some big projects and some missions that I'm on and I want to be on. And I'm like, I used to be a finisher. I used to finish everything. And lately, I start something and I start something else and I start something else. And I wasn't finishing. So when I'm running, I'm listening to that song and it had new meaning to me. It wasn't sexual at all. It was like, dude, finish what you started. Oops. So there's a reason I'm moving the camera here. So finish what you started. And so even though, again, it seems like a sexual song, which it is, the lyrics by themselves, but when I brought new meaning to it, it changed things. So these words here, around my house, my dad is a woodworker. Around my house, I have these words. And they're made out of wood. They're little blocks. Because my dad, when I moved here, he said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, I had seen this somewhere else where one of my friends had all these inspirational words around the house. And I just thought that was cool. And I thought, how cool if my dad made them, they would then have more meaning to me. So I put these up around my house. And here was, actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was a recent revelation that I thought about it, that I put these words up there. Because, law of attraction, I wanted to focus on abundance. I wanted to have abundance. So the meaning I brought to it was, here's something I want. Here's something I want to draw into my life. And when I think of the man on the soapbox, which I never knew his name in Australia, I realized I need to look at this and say, I have abundance. That I already have this. Because if it's something I want, then I don't have it. But now that I realize, dude, look at what you have. You have a beautiful house. You live in the United States. You've got so much. You've got great friends. Anyway, even when we're going through tough times in our business or in our life, sometimes we think, well, everyone else's life is great and we're the only one with challenges because we're coming from our meaning. But if we look at what's the word, what's our meaning that we give to it? So look around your world, and maybe there's a symbol of something that maybe you want, that maybe you have to look and think you already have it or believe that you already have it. So that man, that crazy looking guy, planted a seed of a little bit of wisdom that I love, and I think everyone should get that. The song, what's the meaning you bring to it, even though the writer might have had a different intention? The words, what do you bring to it? What's your meaning? So that's it for today. We will see you tomorrow. Remember, tell your story. Inspire people by example. It's not the speech that you give, it's the life that you live. And if you live a more courageous life and challenge yourself more, you can have better stories and be able to help people more. So that's it for today. See you tomorrow.